Okay, that was fun. That was fun. It's fun to win, and it's fun to win when you don't have a lot of drama at the end. It just seems like we've had so many dramatic finishes over the last couple years. I'm just glad we had one where we just finished, and really proud of. I'm first start off with the fans. The dog walk was unbelievable. The students were where we asked them to be during pregame warm-up. The fans wore red. They were there for us. They caused some timeouts. They caused some issues for their communication. I think we probably got a sack or two because their linemen were getting off the ball late. So thumbs up to our fan base and Red Coat Band, cheerleaders, everybody who supports us, the families of our players, a lot of support, and that's always true, win or lose. But it's more fun for everybody when you win. Very proud of our coaching staff. I know everybody works hard across America, but I doubt anybody worked any harder than our coaches did, and did a great job of preparing our guys. I thought, our off-season conditioning program came through. I think that our special teams coaches did a beautiful job. Just really offense, defense, everybody. I think I'm just really excited about this staff, and they're very demanding. And there's some days out there in practice I just didn't know what we had. But today the leadership rose to the occasion. Everybody was very good teammates and pulled together, and just really proud of everyone.
Mark, just talking about that second defensive adjustments and what they were doing.
Well, I think the biggest thing we did was take a little pressure off our cornerbacks. We had a lot of man coverage in the first half, and they just launched a couple bombs on us and got some big plays and grabbed momentum that way. Not to say they didn't execute in some other areas, but that was the biggest problem we had in the first half, and the biggest adjustment we made was just change up some coverages where it wouldn't put as much pressure on them, and really challenged our D-line, linebacking core, our front seven to take care of the run game and pressure the quarterback without having to play a lot of man coverage behind it. So it worked out well.
Mark, y'all were rotating tailbacks a little more the first half. The second half, everybody just really got cranked up.
Yeah, we wanted to keep everybody fresh, and I don't know if you noticed defensively, we did a lot of subbing, a lot of linebacker substitution, DB substitution, D-line substitution, all the way across the board. We knew that we really felt like our team was in good condition, but fatigue will make a coward out of you, and if you don't, if we didn't sub, I don't think we'd have been as fresh at the end of the game. And with our backs, knowing that we have really 5 quality tailbacks, and we felt like by the end of the game we're going to have some running backs with some fresh legs going against some defenders who were a little bit fatigued, and that's kind of how it ended up. And Todd, we didn't use him up in the first half, and he had some juice at the end too.
Can you assess his 4 touchdown performance tonight?
He had 4, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he's I think he's the best player in America, or at least one of them, and you got to have teammates that help you do it, but he's one of the best in America.
Do you think you can point to a specific instance where you saw the defense really take control of this game?
Just really the whole second half. We got into that little punting fest there for a little while, and we kept, knocking them back deep, and then our defense had them in a good position and kept them back there, and we'd have great field position, but we couldn't get a first down, and I'm tempted to go for it on 4th, but I'm like, let's just knock it back in there. Our defense is playing good. Let's just keep doing it. And then finally they actually turned the field they launched a bomb and got us back deep, but that's the one time when we moved the ball down the field, and I think we scored a touchdown that drive. So that was very good. But the defense, somebody said that they didn't get a second half first down. Is that correct, or is that true? They got 1. So, what can you say about that? It's fantastic.
What is it about, you say Todd's the best player in America, what in your mind makes it stand back to you?
Well, if you look at all the yards after contact, we blocked pretty good, but he blasted through a lot of tackles and kept going. Chubb did too. You know, Sony had his share of those too. But, you know, I'm not going to say he did it all on his own, but there's a lot of times that, you know, he got what he got, and people came to tackle him, one or two guys at the same time trying to get him on the ground, couldn't do it. So he's blasting through tackles and keeping his feet and keep churning and running. And I mean, I bet you our yard after contact in this game, we must have at least 200 yards as a team after contact.
The best player in America only had 4 carries at halftime.
Yeah.
Did you think it would? I know you wanted to.
He carried a kickoff, didn't he? It's 5.
5 carries. Was it ever verbalized?
Well,
hey, let's get him the ball.
Well, we wanted to. We knew we had other good backs, and we knew again the goal was the substitute and keep people fresh and not wear anybody out in the first half, and wanted to, you know, we wanted to have some juice at the end, and that's what we did. You know, and some of it was, you know, we didn't have a great first half of offensive football, period. I mean, when you're punting a bunch of times, it's hard to give anybody the ball, quite frankly. I think we might have the ball for like 10 minutes in the first half, so it's hard to give anybody any carries if you're not getting some first downs along the way.
Coach, what happened in the fourth quarter? It was almost like I was watching a completely different game than the first 3.
Well, I just think that our guys, we did a good job of getting our hats on the right people, running the ball, and then again, guys were breaking tackles. You know, Gurley was fresh enough to break tackles, and Chubb was fresh breaking tackles. That's where the big runs came. It wasn't like we just ran through out there untouched. They just couldn't get him on the ground. They could not get him on the ground. Either one of them two at the end of the game, and it's pretty impressive running.
How do you assess Clemson's performance?
I thought it was very solid. I thought it was a very solid performance. It was not spectacular, but it was solid. Did a good job getting us in the right plays in the run game, and you know, there was some pressure. They got a great pass rush, whether they blitz or not. But you know, he was under duress a few times, had to throw it away a few times. I don't think he threw one ball that could have or should have got picked. And that's huge. We really secured the ball pretty good. I know Michael had the one that came out. Was that our only turnover? Just the one.
Yeah.
You know, so it was solid.
Mark, you said this week that, you know, eventually you felt like the defense was going to play the way you wanted it to.
Yeah.
Did you already see that tonight?
Well, they played great in the second half. There's no doubt about that. And you know, we'll have to watch the film and see everything that happened. But it was very encouraging to you know, part of the reason why I'm not going for it on 4th down at midfield and all that is because I just felt like the defense was really starting to play extremely well, and I felt like if we kept them backed up with a lot of grass behind them, it would help them, and they came through for us.
It's August 30th, right?
Right.
One game.
Right. Yeah, just one game. And you know, we're going to hear probably good stuff for 2 weeks, and South Carolina's not going to hear much good this week anyway. I know they got another game to play, East Carolina, and East Carolina's a good football team. And we just got to keep getting better. And I don't know how hot it's going to be, but if we'd have played this game at 3:30, I don't even know what would have happened to everybody because it was smoking hot, just super humid. And it may be the same way. And I know the last time we went to South Carolina, we got mauled. We got embarrassed. We got beat down. And we've got to do better this time around.
Reggie saw a lot of punt return action. Can we expect more of that, or like I
Right.
said, like
Well, you know, Reggie we felt was the most sure-handed return man we got. And Reggie's got a lot of speed, and he's got some ability to return kicks. Isaiah is an exciting football player, and I just didn't want his first experience as a collegiate to be sitting there waiting for that ball to come down, 4.5 hang time, and it's not a good way to start your career. And even, you know, the first ball thrown to him bounced off his hands, you know, and that's what happens to young guys. And so when we had the game in hand and they punted, you know, we threw him back there and let him get a taste of it. And that's what we were hoping to be able to do, and we were able to, which was great.
Mark, when was the decision made to put Gurley on kick return? Is there any?
Well, really about 2 years ago, I wanted him on kick return, and he was going to be, and and then we cheesed up. You know what I mean? We decided, well, we can't put him back there because, you know, something may happen and all that. And then this year I was like, we're putting our best players on special teams, and Todd's one of them.
What'd you make of y'all's secondary tonight?
Well, they struggled with the deep ball, with the one-on-one shots, you know. Had a beautiful pick. I mean, I don't know, I can't remember last time we had a nice interception like that. That was athletic and really, I thought it was a spectacular play. You know, I would say that they tackled pretty good. I didn't see any. There might have been, well, the one early in the game they threw that little hitch, and we had safety coming over there trying to make a tackle. Aaron, I believe it was, and missed it, and they got a big play out of it. So there weren't many of those. That's the only one I can think of where we missed a tackle that turned into a big, long play because of it. But they tackled pretty good. You know, I'd have to really sit down. I'm going to sit down and watch film with the defense tomorrow and let Jeremy tell me how good or bad they did, because he understands it a lot better than I do.
Did you all get confused? Did y'all think that y'all had 12 on the field when they attempted that?
The field goal that they missed?
Did you think
the first one, no. The first time around, I was just trying to give him something to think about. I think it's his first year trying to kick field goals, and so I called it basically to ice him. But we were about to call it again because we thought we had 12 on the field, but it was not. It was not. And so, I mean, it turned out, and we got a coach up there every single snap or substitution of any kind. We're counting heads, and somebody on the ground thought we had 12, but upstairs they said we had 11, so we were good.
Coach, Nick had his helmet ripped off, kept going. He had carrying guys on his back, breaking tackles. Did that surprise you? That's pretty normal, Nick Chubb.
Well, when you only scrimmage a couple times, it's hard to tell how good of a tackle breaker a guy is. We know he's even the players are like, he's heavy. You know, and when you hit him, he's heavy. He hurts your body when you try to tackle that guy. And so, but when you thud, what we call thud, it's hard to tell if he's breaking tackles or not. But then you get in a real game and you start seeing him, you know, drop a few bodies behind him along the way. You can see how heavy he is, how physical he is, and yeah, he did a nice job tonight.
You talked about having your best players on special teams. Sony seemed to take some pride in it.
Yeah.
Highly recruited running back, but he takes pride in
right.
making tackles on the kickoff.
Well, yeah, Sony was there. Chubb was covering kicks. Keith Marshall's covering kicks. You know, Gurley's returning kicks. And a lot of times you have linebackers, young linebackers that are doing that, but we don't have a lot of that on our team. We don't have a lot of that. You know, our tailbacks are actually the best runners and hitters we probably got on the team, so we got them covering kicks.
Coach, is there any other young guys aside from Nick Chubb that solidified extra playing time with their performance tonight?
Well, I mean, you know, we want to see more about what Isaiah McKenzie can do over time, and Nick, obviously, Sony, those guys on offense. Blazevich played a lot. I don't know if y'all paid attention to that, but he played a lot. Dominique Sanders played a lot. You could probably tell me better. You can probably tell better than I can. Some of those defenders that played. Lorenzo Carter got to play. Quite a few.
It would be for your defense, Mark, both punters putting guys dead inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and we almost had another one down about the 2, which would have been really good. But yeah, both our punters did a nice job of giving our coverage people a chance to keep them inside the 20, inside the 10, and. You know, when you're playing good defense, you have more faith to just try to knock a team back, get a stop, get a good field position, and eventually, you know, break the dam and score.
Coach, what's it say about your defense? And you know, the coaches talked about through it, about putting guys in different positions so they can get a wide familiarity with this defense. But you've got like Swan lining up as an inside linebacker, other guys playing some interesting spots.
Well, you know, when you go dime, when you go 6 DBs, you know, somebody's got to play linebacker, and Swan, he's really the guy that has the greatest football IQ of all of our defensive backs, and he could play just about any of the positions back there. But you create depth by teaching guys in terms of concepts rather than, you know, this guy does this on this play. You just say, hey, when we play cover 2, whoever's in this spot, whether it's a linebacker, nickel back or whoever, this is what you do. This is how you play. And so if you teach it conceptually, it allows guys to plug into a spot more easily.
Mark, as much as y'all saw defensively, was it because of the heat? Was it kind of an open trial thing? Is it something?
Well, a lot of it was heat. A lot of it was heat. We knew there was going to be a lot of nervous energy. We knew there was going to be a lot of guys that were, if we subbed, we felt like it would take some pressure off of some of the guys, you know. Just the pressure of being a starter, the pressure of playing every down. You know, it's nice to be able to get a little rest physically, but also get a rest mentally as well. And so we knew going in we were going to sub. We were going to sub a lot. And you know, I can't tell you how many times over the years I've been in those meetings where you say we're going to sub, we're going to sub, we're going to sub, and you get to the game and you're like, oh, I can't put this second teamer in there. The game's too close. But we did it from the very beginning, and I'm glad Jeremy and the rest of the defensive staff stayed true to the plan, because I think it helped us in the end.
Can you talk about Quavon's impact on the game?
Yeah, Quavon, I love the guy. Quavon had a great camp. I don't know, he was energized the whole camp, and I was just glad that he played well for us. Of course, he had a couple nice runs at the end, but really still a very good physical blocker as a fullback and tight end as well. And he's really been a good utility man for us and a guy that brings a lot of energy to offense and special teams.
Pass rush got a lot of hype this summer and kind of struggled to get him towards the end. They kind of kicked him into the year.
Yeah.
What was it? You kind of mentioned the fans.
Well, what happens, well, the fans help because it's hard to hear. It's hard to, if you can go on a verbal cadence, then you can anticipate when the ball is going to be snapped as an offensive lineman. But if you can't hear, you either got to look back at the ball, and then you're trying to block that guy when you look at the ball, or you're going to look at that guy and watch for him to move, and then you move. So he gets the jump. And that's where the crowd noise is so crucial. And the other thing is when you start to get the score where they got to throw maybe a little bit more than they want to, or you get some good stops on first and second down and get them into the third and long situations that you can kind of pin your ears back and go after them. And as the score, I mean, most of the negative yardage plays happened probably in the last 2 or 3 drives of the game because we had separated far enough that where they felt like, well, we got to drop back and sling it, and it's just hard to play football that way.
Last question.
Coach, you had some big time recruits in Tennessee. How does it look like this boost the interest?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, you know, it was like LSU last year. You know, you get so many great recruits in your house, and you have that kind of spectacular game by your team and the fans and the whole atmosphere. There was a bunch of smiles on their faces. It was good. Thank you.